Hello.
Well, I probably will find it later, yeah.
Timmy.
Hello.
Good to see you. Alright?
Well, I came here to have a civil conversation on about what happened a few months ago.
Yes, of
And
course.
the,
I have heard, in
over-exaggerated
fact...
radio transmission.
Oh, over-exaggerated. Yes, I have heard
Yes.
about your about your accusation of me being a liar, but let me remind you, sir, that at the time that you arrived here, there was a war forming, and I'm certain that you were not unaware of that, and you basically stood here on my campus and admitted that you were moving large amounts of weapons to a town from which one side of the war was mounting their attack. So as a person involved in actually trying to defuse and ultimately being successful at defusing that war, I don't think it was uncalled for. Secondly, you and your man were the very first people to ever offer hostility to raise a weapon against anyone in my campus, and that is against the rules. So, on this day that the second person has joined your ranks, it is only fitting that you are here to let me know whether or not you understand those rules.
Well, at the time, I didn't know anything. All I knew this was a learning campus. And I'm pretty sure you were well aware of that at the time.
I'm also pretty
And
sure that I
you
told you that it
also
was a
read that.
neutral zone. I'm pretty sure that I mentioned that
And
we
that
don't...
man, you know what that man said? My guy, who is dead because of that radio message, by the way. Yes.
No, I don't think so.
His finger got cut off.
If someone else killed your man, I'm certain that it has more to do with your own actions and his than mine, or at least or someone else's. When men who raise weapons against my staff members at a public educational institution do so, I am going to warn everyone that I know about it. Now, I will be willing to accept that there was...
about having security involved, okay? This is what happened.
I always have security
The man
involved.
said,
Whether
"Oh,
you
I
see
know
them
you.
or
You're-
know of
you're
them,
the guy who got his finger cut
I
off by my friend.
always
How would you
have
react?
security
How would
around.
you react? I did not harm him. I did not harm him.
You
I was
raised a
not
weapon
informed
against
of
him.
Any of such rules. That's not harming. I explained to him, like, I'm not gonna...
This is not your turn. You came here. You came here asking to use my territory to set up an outpost.
Talk. Please let me talk. Let me explain my side of the story.
If you call me a liar again,
Right.
you will be removed, and you will never be allowed back. So if you're going to speak, you keep that in mind. Do you understand?
Fine. Let me tell you my side of the story then. Huh? That guy, your employee, the day after my friend got his finger fucking cut off, he was like, "Oh, I remember you. My friend cut your finger off." How would you react? Huh? Would you be, "Oh, that's nice. Yes, let's have a little tea." I got hot-headed.
Oh, well,
I
there's
pulled
our
a gun.
profit.
Yes, but I
Mr.
holstered
Profit.
it. I holstered it. I explained to him I do not believe in guilt by
Hello, Mr.
association,
Profit.
and I walked off. That is all that happened. Nothing more.
You're welcome.
Nothing
Take a
more.
seat.
Is that justifiable? And I am pretty sure you know what would happen if you made such a transmission. I am pretty damn sure. A tank of plausible deniability. That's what you do. When somebody has a little flurry of emotions and doesn't but keeps himself in check like I did, then all of
Raising a
sudden,
weapon on this
put that
campus
radio message out there
is
and you're
not
well
keeping
aware that
yourself
you
in
got
check.
many allies
You
that
were
just
offered
jumped to the chance
hospitality. You were offered food, and in fact, we were even working towards a business deal up here. I was working towards actually allowing you to use that space up there to haul all of your stuff and to keep your trading outpost at my own risk, since I knew that the Reapers were after you. I was willing to talk to you and your man and give you refuge up here for your trading post, and within 5 minutes of me walking away, one of my employees has a gun in his face, sir, the very first person who had the gall to do such a thing. How exactly do you expect me to tell other people that they can come here and be safe if I do not enforce one simple rule, that we do not raise weapons against one another?
I totally understand that. But what I don't understand...
Never told me you raised a weapon at someone, Timmy. I didn't know that.
Oh, wow. We met like, what, 5 times? Briefly? I hardly know you, sir.
Oh, you brought me.
And I knew you even
Russell.
less when I considered giving you a chance up north in the campground, knowing that the Reapers had burnt your outpost that very morning. I welcomed you here. I welcomed you here in peace and told you that was the only rule.
I was very grateful of that.
And then you turned around and raised a weapon on the man I introduced you to continue business.
Like a brother. Okay. Tell me this.
I will not tell you any such thing.
Like a sister. Now, anyway, imagine that person, right? That person getting tortured. That person getting a
Are you threatening me?
And then you meet someone.
Excuse me.
Who says, like it's nothing in the world, like it's no problem in the goddamn. No, let me.
Look, I don't doubt that Mr. Reiner can be abrasive. I don't doubt that he can be rude. But I also know that he didn't raise a weapon against you or anyone else and hasn't. And I know that he's a 19-year-old kid.
Pissed at that guy.
And I'm not even saying that you shouldn't be angry. Do you raise a weapon? Raise a weapon? You call yourselves
And
merchants,
I also-
professionals?
I got a little hot-headed.
Yes.
I
And
checked
perhaps, and
myself,
if you
I
have
explained
seen
myself,
the
I
consequences
even
of those
apologized.
actions,
I even when the shit with the masquerade, I even offered my life.
oh, and you were told not to
help
come that day.
defend this place.
You were told not to come that day. However, it was noted, in fact, that you did come back.
Sorry, I borrowed the radio. I did not get that memo. I was sorry. I only said I would come here, and I did not know there was anything. But as soon as I saw trouble, I did not run away.
Yes, that is
I
true.
wanted to make
That
amends.
is absolutely true. And that is, and as
then
soon as I
also,
heard that
left-
you were
I left
here
a
and
bag
potentially in
with
trouble
books
today,
in that shed over there.
I want to make it clear that as soon as I heard that you were in trouble today and that you were here in town, I ran, literally, to come and talk to you, because it did not go unnoticed that you were here that day, as tense as it was.
Let me gather myself. Sorry.
No, it's life is crazy here, okay?
Temper against your man. Yes, sorry. I have this. I'm working on it. I have this thing where I just skip the journey between emotions, if you will. And I was told by a friend that might be because I spent so long on my own in the woods, but I got hot-headed. I apologized at the time, and the resulting events had my friend killed. So and having only one-sided information, you can imagine how that can boil in your head. You know?
Yes, and to be
Especially
honest,
if you're in hiding, because people were hunting me for actually just
I certainly-
a single slip of emotional stuff. And then he came along at my outpost, and then I almost lost my temper again, because I was sitting on that. I was sitting on that the entire time. And then, and shortly after, I learned that the friend that he sort of like, oh yes, I remember you, Mr. James got decapitated. His head got cut off. And I don't know how to respond to a world where a simple flurry of emotion and with no physical repercussion can lead to a decapitation of a good friend of mine.
I want to assure you, I want to promise you, I do not and never have advocated violence. I got messages from people asking what to do if we run into Timmy and James. And I repeated over and over and over again, it seems to me that these guys are dangerous. They're talking about having weapons. Leave them alone. I swear to you that I did not ask anyone to capture you or bring you here. Certainly did not ask anyone to torture or kill or maim either of you. Anybody who did any of those things did so without my authorization or desire.
I remember being at the outpost and on my way to Pushtonka, and from there from there it's blank.
I understand. Well, before, we should have done this first, and I apologize, but do you need any food? Of course, you're welcome to the water. Do you need any medical supplies?
Well, it's good to hear that my paranoid suspicions because when I was listening to the radio and I heard that message, it just, to me it sounded like shit for you know what the politicians do, to imply something and have them stay clean. That's what it sounded to me. And
I am intending and hoping
over the week
to get
on my own. It kind of.
I can understand why you may have received this message, but you've got to understand, I've never ventured into something like this before. The response, I was emotional as well. I was upset about Mr. Reiner. I had reports from security guys. Something, it seemed, had to be done. We were... And while I do not advocate violence, I wanted to make sure that you would never come back and do it again. I wanted to make sure that no one would come and see us as weak. But I didn't expect the response, and every time I got the response, I told people not to act violently. I was also thinking at the time, you see, we've been working on getting the radio towers operational across the country. We wouldn't be able to send messages out of country, but we'd be able to broadcast across the country. And messages to survivors, truly public service messages. There are dangerous people here, or avoid this area. Some people could have gotten a message to avoid Bashanoi today, and maybe lives would have been saved. And
I'll tell you what.
That's the sort of thing we're really trying to do here.
In second chances and forgetting the past and starting over. So how about I drop my grudges and we can start over? Because I'm not a bad man. Apart from raising a weapon, that's the most giving somebody a scare is the most harm I've ever done to a man. So.
Yes, I can live with that if you'll accept the same from me.
Yes, I think this was just an unfortunate overreaction at both parts. You protecting yourself and me protecting my guy. And
yes, and I am
a little bit overprotective all around, I think.
Yes, well, this is such a land full of paranoia. Sometimes it's hard to know how to respond best. But perhaps we'll get better together.
Yeah.